Yokohama tires for dependable performance. We're here to help you find the right tire for every vehicle and every budget. Learn more by clicking our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
Longview Community Bank is now open in Clinton, investing in rural Illinois. I'm Vice President Nate Sams. Stop by for a visit or to find out how we provide real local banking. Click our banner ad at the top of the local news page on DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. A group of dedicated community volunteers has been working diligently for months to offer a free and fun weekend to celebrate the 4th of July and America's 250th. Clinton Police Chief Ben Lauer says there's a single thing the community can do to support the hard work of these individuals, and that is simply show up.
First and foremost, I want to see them come out and support it. You know, these folks have put in a tremendous amount of their own time, you know, the volunteers, and they're always looking for more volunteers. So if you want to step up and serve your community in a volunteer way, reach out to these folks and offer your help. So first and foremost, come out and support it. You know, we hear so much, especially on social media, we just hear so much negativity, you know, and complaining about this or complaining about that. It's so easy to be a glass half empty. So when we have things like this and people coming together for positive things for our community, get out and support those. Bring the kids out. That's what they're doing it for. That's what they're expending their efforts for, is to provide this entertainment in our community. And so I'm happy for that. But come out, support the things. You know, like I say another time, be patient. You know, we hope we have a huge crowd, but be patient, be respectful of others. You know, I'm going to say, I don't know that they have. It's their event, but if you have the ability, leave those dogs at home, you know, leave the pets. It's going to be hot, you know, a big crowd. Anytime we have a big crowd together, it just, you know, it's just a record. But come out and enjoy it. Come out and enjoy it. And quite frankly, reward the volunteers that have put their time and effort together. And they're not doing it for themselves, you know, and it can oftentimes be thankless. But and also the sponsors, you know, our businesses and our individuals that have sponsored this, they're doing this for our community. Well, let's come out as a community and show that support and appreciation for it.
According to the chief, preparations will kick off in the afternoon of Friday when the entire square closes to all vehicular traffic at 2 p.m. for vendor setup. The live entertainment schedule launches that evening at 6 p.m. with the band Blonderosa, followed by Brushville on the Mr. Lincoln stage.
I know a handful of them. I don't want to mention names because I certainly don't want to leave anybody out, but we met with them as the police department just last week to go over some road closure stuff, some extra security stuff, but they really have. They've done a great job at some fundraising and bringing together what I think is going to be a great 3-day celebration. July 3rd through the 5th, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday starts off on Friday afternoon. On July 3rd, the entire square will close at 2 p.m. For vendor move-in and things like that. Activities getting moved in and set up for the weekend. 6 p.m. that night, we'll have the local talent of Blonderosa, followed up by one of my favorite local bands, Brushville, on Mr. Lincoln stage. Then Saturday, July 4th, a lot going on. It's going to kick off at 8 a.m. with a 5K that I believe starts and finishes on the square. 10 a.m., there's going to be a parade. We're going to have a parade that starts basically in the area of Illini Drive in the First Baptist Church. We'll come east down there, starting at Illini onto Main Street and finish up at Quincy Street, just on the west side of the square. So looks like that's going to be a fun time and a lot of participation in the 250th parade there. So exciting times for that.
Chief Flowers reminds the holiday weekend will conclude as it traditionally does on the night of July 5th. Per standard city traditions, the community fireworks display is scheduled to launch at dusk, officially closing out the 2026 celebration.
A lot of things going on in the square that day and surrounding area, but then finish it off Saturday evening with a concert, 6 p.m., starting off with a Josh Holland band, followed by Out of Eden on Mr. Lincoln stage. And then on Sunday, July 5th, they'll wrap things up at 10 a.m. with a non-denominational church service at 10 a.m. on the square. Some music at 12 p.m. And then 4 to 7 p.m. that night, again, concert live music with local talent, Green Diamond Express.
And they're pretty good, I've heard.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Great local talent there. Several of those folks I went to school with or, grew up with. And
really? Okay.
we like to watch them anytime they're in the area. But so some really good things going on, a ton of activity. As I'm assuming that at some point you either have or will have some of the folks from the committee. But can't give enough kudos to those folks that have come together, volunteering their time and their efforts to put this together. And I think they've done a great job. I'm excited. I've always said I love to see that square full of people, family fun events, things of this nature. So very much looking forward to that. Fireworks have typically for Clinton have been dusk on July 5th. So
sure.
I think that'll kind of conclude the weekend with a fireworks show. And
check out the Clinton Celebrates America 250 Facebook page for all the happenings of the weekend lineup. Representatives will join the WHOW morning show today at 9 a.m. to give Heart Media Group listeners a full rundown of the weekend's activities. The Monticello Police Department was involved in an early Tuesday morning high-speed pursuit that ultimately led to the arrest of a Tolono teen in Champaign County. Just after 2:20 a.m. on Tuesday, Monticello authorities attempted to pull over the driver of a silver Chevrolet sedan. The driver was uncooperative in the traffic stop, evading authorities and speeding away, leaving the city in excess of 100 miles per hour. Authorities in Champaign County were notified, and the vehicle was discovered in Tolono. The driver of the vehicle was arrested and identified as 18-year-old Travis McCarter, who was charged with aggravated fleeing and eluding, speeding, and unlawful possession of cannabis by a driver. McCarter was transported to the Piatt County Correction Center and released. His vehicle was impounded. Authorities remind all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty. No further details about the incident will be released. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. Best of all, it's all free all the time, right at your fingertips at DeWittDailyNews.com. Local sports comes your way next.
Here's Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson on how he works to save you money every day.
I watch the Decatur market very carefully. I stay under these, supposed low-price chains. I make sure I'm under them. So anybody that's rushing to Decatur or other towns to buy commodity items like flour and sugar and milk and eggs and things that matter are fooling themselves. We are cheaper or as cheap on all the items that matter, and I make sure of that.
And as Dave always says,
hope to see you soon.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Don't let a summer sniffle turn into a summer setback. Warner Hospital's walk-in clinic has you covered. No appointment necessary. Just walk in and be seen by our caring medical team. Warner Hospital Walk-in Clinic, right here when you need us.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. The Springfield Lucky Horseshoes battled back to within 2 runs through 6 innings, but a 6-run 8th inning proved to be the difference as the Rex pulled away for a 12-4 victory on Monday night. Springfield collected 7 hits and remained within striking distance for much of the contest before the visitors broke the game open late with timely hitting and capitalized on several opportunities to put the game out of reach. The Lucky Horseshoes wasted little time getting on the scoreboard in the opening inning. Cannon Kirk doubled and later scored when Tanae Vyas lined an RBI single to center field, giving Springfield an early 1-0 advantage. The Rex answered in the second inning as Carter Murphy crossed the plate on a balk to even the score at 1-1. An inning later, the visitors took control. Giordani Mendoza scored on a Springfield fielding error before another defensive miscue allowed Ren Harper to cross the plate, extending the Rex's lead to 3-1, despite neither run being earned. Springfield trimmed the deficit in the 4th inning when Ethan Burkhart delivered an RBI single up the middle, scoring Griffin Novacek to make it a 1-run game. The Rex responded in the 5th with Nomar Garcia's RBI double to center field, restoring a 2-run cushion at 4-2. After Nazir Bergen drove home another run with a sac fly in the 6th inning, Springfield answered immediately. Wandel Campana connected on a solo home run to right center field, cutting the deficit to 5-3 and providing life for the Lucky Horseshoes heading into the late innings. Unfortunately for Springfield, the 8th inning belonged entirely to the visitors. The Rex erupted for 6 runs in the frame, beginning with Carter Murphy scoring on a wild pitch before another wild pitch plated Joseph Gutierrez. Bergen followed with a ground rule RBI double. Bryson Carpenter added an RBI single, and Garcia capped the rally with another RBI double as the lead ballooned to 11-3. The Lucky Horseshoes scratched across one final run in the bottom half of the inning when Vyas recorded his second RBI single of the night, bringing home Cannon Kirk to make it 11-4. The Rex added one final insurance run in the 9th as Joseph Gutierrez scored on another wild pitch, closing out the scoring at 12-4. Kirk led Springfield offensively, finishing 2 for 4 with a double and 2 runs scored. Vyas also turned in a strong performance, collecting 2 hits and driving in a pair of runs. Campana added a solo home run and finished with 2 hits, while Burkhart contributed an RBI single. On the mound, Springfield pieced together the game with 4 pitchers. Starter Richie Snyder allowed 1 earned run over 2.1 innings before Hayden Steelman kept the Lucky Horseshoes within striking distance through the middle innings, surrendering just 2 runs over 4.2 innings while striking out 4. Nick Sullivan and Jack Olson handled the late innings as the Rex broke the game open during the decisive 8th. Despite trailing for much of the evening, Springfield remained within reach until the late innings. However, the Rex's explosive 7-run 8th inning proved to be the turning point, allowing the visitors to pull away and hand the Lucky Horseshoes the 12-4 defeat. Colson Montgomery and Junior Perez homered during Chicago's 7-run 3rd inning, and the Chicago White Sox pounded the Baltimore Orioles 9-3 on Tuesday night.
One day after snapping a 9-game losing streak at the hands of the Orioles, the White Sox started a streak of their own, jumping the O's for a 7th spot in the 3rd with a 2-run double by Jacob Gonzalez, sandwiched in between a couple long balls by Colson Montgomery and Junior Perez.
Montgomery hits a high fly ball to right, and that baby will go out onto Utah Street. Junior Perez with a deep fly ball, right center field, way back there, and it's gone. It's a 3-run homer.
9-3 winner as the Southsiders go for the sweep early Wednesday afternoon before heading off to Cleveland for a huge 4-game series over the holiday weekend. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 11 a.m. on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
The Sox kick off a weekend series with the Cleveland Guardians on Friday after wrapping up the Orioles series this afternoon. Nathan Church hit a 3-run homer. Nelson Velasquez added a solo shot, and Matthew Liberatore threw 5 strong innings as the St. Louis Cardinals beat the NL East leading Atlanta Braves 5-3 on Tuesday night. Velasquez started a 4-run 4th inning with his 3rd homer of the year, a 444-foot shot to center field that tied the game at 1. Church followed later in the inning with his 6th homer of the season, a 3-run shot to increase the lead to 4-1. Liberatore is 4-5 and struck out 9 and allowed 1 run on 1 hit. Coming into the game, Liberatore had a 10.34 ERA in the month of June. Riley O'Brien pitched a scoreless 9th and earned his 21st save of the season. Jordan capped the scoring for St. Louis with a sac fly to right field that scored Mason Wynn in the top of the 6th. Martin Perez is 6-5 and allowed 4 runs and 5 hits in 5 innings for Atlanta. Ozzie Albies, who leads the Braves in RBIs this month with 17, drove in 2 runs. He had a sacrifice fly in the 3rd and an RBI single in the 7th. Despite loading the bases in the 8th, Mauricio Dubon was the only Braves player to score, doing so on a wild pitch. Drake Baldwin snapped an 0-for-36 slump with a single in the 7th. Atlanta went 1-for-10 with runners in scoring position and left 10 on base against the Cardinals. The Braves are 49-34 and have lost 13 of their last 17 games and have a 2.5-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies in the division. Atlanta right-hander Ronaldo Lopez is 3-1 with a 3.47 ERA and faces St. Louis right-hander Michael McGreevy, who is 3-6 with a 3.12 ERA in the second game of the series on Wednesday. Dansby Swanson hit 2 of Chicago's 5 home runs, and the Chicago Cubs held on for their 4th straight victory, 9-7 over the San Diego Padres on Tuesday night. Alex Bregman, Michael Busch, and Pete Crow Armstrong added homers to help the Cubs win for the 10th time in 12 games. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit 2 home runs, and Matty Machado and Gavin Sheets also went deep as San Diego dropped its 4th straight after a 4-game winning streak. Swanson hit a solo home run off J.P. Sears, who is 1-1, in the 2nd inning to give the Cubs the lead for good, then added a 2-run shot off Ron Marinaccio in the 5th. He finished 3-for-4 with a second multi-homer game in less than a week. He hit 2 in the opening game off a doubleheader at the New York Mets on June 24th. Javier Assad gave up Sheets' 3-run homer and Tatis' second solo shot in the 8th to make it a 2-run game, but the Padres couldn't get closer. Ryan Rollison got the final out for his first save. Matthew Boyd is 3-1 and gave up both San Diego homers in the first 5 innings and surrendered 3 runs and 8 hits while striking out 2. Tatis led off and knocked Boyd's 5th pitch over the left field bleachers onto Waveland Avenue before Chicago answered in the bottom of the inning when Seiya Suzuki scored on Carson Kelly's RBI single. Bregman came up at 2 spots after Swanson and hit a 3-run homer in the 2nd. Machado drove in 2 with his 16th home run in the 3rd. Busch hit a solo shot, and Ian Happ singled to chase Sears in the 5th, and Swanson greeted Marinaccio with his 13th home run. Crow Armstrong added his 18th of the year and 11th in the month of June, an inning later. Sears, making his second start of the season, gave up 8 hits, including Chicago's first 3 homers, and 6 earned runs while walking 3 and striking out 4. It was 92 degrees with a 19-mile-per-hour wind blowing at the first pitch for a game in which the teams combined 26 hits and 9 homers. San Diego's Walker Buehler is 5-3 with a 3.18 ERA and faces fellow right-hander Colin Rea, who is 5-5 with a 4.80 ERA in Wednesday afternoon's series finale. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Philadelphia Phillies shut out the Pittsburgh Pirates 8-0, while the Texas Rangers beat the Cleveland Guardians 4-2. The Detroit Tigers took down the New York Yankees 9-3, while the New York Mets shut out the Toronto Blue Jays 3-0. The Washington Nationals routed the Boston Red Sox 8-1, while the Milwaukee Brewers took down the Cincinnati Reds 7-2. The Tampa Bay Rays took care of the Kansas City Royals 10-4, while the Houston Astros beat the Minnesota Twins 6-4. The Miami Marlins romped the Colorado Rockies 14-3, while the Seattle Mariners beat the Los Angeles Angels 8-3. The Los Angeles Dodgers took down the Athletics 9-3, while the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the San Francisco Giants 8-2. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Looking for the perfect summer night? Head to Decatur and cheer on the Decatur Beanballers. Experience exciting summer collegiate baseball, affordable family fun, great promotions, and an unforgettable atmosphere at the ballpark. Get your tickets and schedule at beanballers.com and catch Decatur Beanballers highlights all summer long on IL SportsWire. In today's digital world, one medium stands out for reaching America's farmers and ranchers: Ag Radio. Farm broadcasters connect agricultural advertisers with the most trusted voices in rural America. While farmers may scroll past online ads or skip television commercials, they actively listen to farm broadcasters for weather updates, market reports, and agricultural news that impacts their livelihood. Ag Radio reaches farmers where they work, in combines, tractors, barns, and trucks across rural America. These aren't just radio personalities. They're trusted advisors who've built relationships with agricultural communities for generations. Data from the National Association of Farm Broadcasting shows that 80% of farmers rely on Ag Radio as a primary information source during planting and harvest seasons, exactly when your agricultural product or service needs to be top of mind. Ready to put the power of farm broadcasting to work for your brand? Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and connect with the voices that farmers trust most.
Spring just has a way of putting a little more energy into everything. Brighter days, warmer air, and more reasons to get out and enjoy it. Your home should keep up with that. At Hickory Point Garden Homes, you'll have your own one-story duplex with bright open spaces, a private patio, and neighborhood walking paths just outside your door for that perfect stroll in the spring sunshine. You can spend less time managing your home and more time enjoying the warm spring days ahead. See what that feels like at Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, Illinois, and step into comfortable living for $55 and better.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. It is a hot holiday week for millions of people across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the Southeast, the Northeast. Intense heat and humidity settling in. There's no immediate relief in sight. The National Weather Service says it's not only uncomfortable, these conditions are dangerous. The heat index topping 100 degrees in some areas. President Trump is pressing Congress do something about birthright citizenship. This after the Supreme Court struck down an executive order from President Trump that limited birthright citizenship. Meantime, the president applauding a separate Supreme Court decision, the High Court upholding state laws banning transgender athletes from playing on girls' and women's school sports teams. On Wall Street,